I don't know how dominating it was. I mean, first period, we got a break there. They hit the post, and, that happens. But I thought that we had real good energy and focus in the game. I thought that everybody was pretty dialed into, doing things right and getting to our game as quickly as possible on the forecheck. And, that's when we're at our best. And second period, did a real good job of it in the neutral zone both ways. I thought that we moved the puck really well, got it in, got on top of them, and then defended the neutral zone really well.
Front right.
Craig, Jaden Schwartz now has more goals in the postseason than he did in the entire regular season. Is there any way that you could see this coming?
Well, we've seen it before from him. Like, he's been a pretty consistent performer over the years. It was an off year for him this year, obviously, in the regular season, but, the guy keeps working hard. Nothing changes with his attitude, and he keeps with it and keeps working, and it's paying off now, obviously. He's been a very good performer for us in the playoffs.
Front right.
Coach, your team has come a long way since January. You're one game away or one win away from the Stanley Cup final. But how hard is it going to be to try to get that closeout game in Game 6?
Well, it's always hard, and against a real good team like San Jose, it's going to be hard. We're going to have to be at our best for 60 minutes for sure.
Front right.
Craig, Schwartz aside, but just that line in general, when they play like that, is that what they're capable of doing in all three zones, really?
Yeah, I think we've seen that at times. Obviously, we've seen it going back a year, 2 years. If you remember, 30 games in, they were one of the best lines in the National Hockey League. But they've been really good at times, going forward since then, putting it all together, and they're definitely doing a good job now. Like, they're working hard together. And when they're working hard together and they're doing things together out there, connected, they're a real good line.
Front left.
Coach, in last two games, Blues have scored 7 goals in second period. What is it about second period that's been a major success to Blues?
I don't know, because we weren't very good in the second period during the regular season, but it's been pretty good in the playoffs so far. I think just a simple mindset, to be honest with you. We talk about the other team with line changes and quick ups and not getting caught in three-quarter ice games. But so in saying that, we're doing a lot of that. We're catching teams in three-quarter ice games and not allowing them to change quickly. We're getting quick changes and getting fresh guys out there and kind of keep it rolling and have really good momentum.
We'll do a few more second row on the right.
Greg, how has Tarasenko's game progressed since Game 1?
Of this series?
Of this series.
Well, I mean, I think he's produced every game point-wise. But it's the work ethic for me and the physicality that he's playing with right now. He's a physical player out there. He's a strong guy. And when he wants to and he wants to get in there and be physical and skate like he can, he's pretty explosive player and hard to stop.
Left side, third row.
Yeah, again on Vlad, the penalty shot, is there a better guy to have in that spot than Vlad? And what did that 3-0 lead mean at the time?
Not too many. I don't know. It was a great shot, obviously. He's obviously a shooter. And, fortunately, we got a goal out of it, and it was a great shot by him.
We'll do 2 more on the right side, third row.
Craig, quick two-parter here. 10,000 plus at Enterprise today, throwing hats on the ice when Schwartz got his hat trick. Can you imagine what it's going to be like for Game 6 at Enterprise? And also, your team has done a great job of controlling its emotions. Do you expect that to be difficult at all over the next 48 hours?
Well, obviously our fans have been great throughout the year and sticking with us at times where it wasn't very good. And they've been great in the playoffs, great building to play in for us. It's going to be a lot of energy in the building, a lot of emotion, and it's important that we do keep it in check. Our players have done a pretty good job of letting things go, like the win today, and moving on and focusing on Game 6. I don't expect anything different, but it's important that at the start of the game you're simple and direct and keep your emotions in check and not let them get out of control.
Last question, front right.
All right, Coach, how much emotion went into play after the Game 3, the way it ended? And you guys have outscored them 7-1 since then. So what was the motivation after that controversial finish?
I don't know if it was motivation as much as we knew we played a real good hockey game that game, but we let it slip away. And I think, we were obviously very upset about it. Our players were very upset about it. Yeah, we were upset about the call, but we let it go. We moved on from the call and focused on game 4. And fortunately, we got a win. And I think, we're a confident team right now with that win. That really motivated us. I thought we were a motivated hockey team today, and I don't know. I thought today we were more direct and north than we have been all series, and that's the key. I thought that we got to our game early and we never quit. Thanks.
Coach.
Question for both Jaden and Vladdy. You two have been playing for St. Louis for a while now. Do you have any idea what it would mean for St. Louis, for the Blues to be in the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1970?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably tough to put into words. Obviously, it's something that everyone's worked for and dreamed about. So you don't want to look too far ahead, and we all know how important, you know, and how hard that last win's going to be. But yeah, it'd be a dream come true, and yeah, that's really all I can say.
Yeah, we was playing for this one forever, you know, and I think every player dreams to play in the Stanley Cup final, but we're not there yet. We know the next game will be a big, really big game, and you know, if you check what kind of support we have, even when we play on the road in the Enterprise Center, that says it all, like what the expectations are, and you know, we will give our best game the next game.
That's Mahal from INDTV USA. My question is for Jaden and Vladimir. Sharks had a pretty solid first period. In second period, there was a turning point. What do you felt? When was that turning point? Was it your goal, or Vladimir, do you think it was your penalty shot? Or was it some point later where you felt you have full control of the game?
I don't really know what starting point is, but you know, we play the last home game and we don't play well in the second period, so we pay a lot of attention to keep our game and raise our game level through the game. Don't sleep and don't give them easy chances. So I think what we do pretty well today, and I don't think you can pick one goal. It's just a solid team win.
Front right.
All right, Jaden, this is actually the second hat trick in the city of San Jose in consecutive days. It was Wondolowski for the Earthquakes, and you today. What got into you today, and did you feel that you would have an explosion like this today?
That's something you don't really think about before the game. You're just kind of preparing the way you usually do, and get focused for the game to help the team. So sometimes you get some bounces your way, and you know, you never score a goal by yourself. So you need your line mates, your D, you know, Benner to make big saves, timely saves, and we've been a team where our depth's got us here, and different guys step up every night, and tonight was no different.
Front right.
Braden, I'll give this one to you. When you guys are fueled out there and you guys are rolling and going, what gets you guys going? What part of the game gets you guys really going in all three zones?
You know, I don't think we're a flashy team by any means. I feel when we're skating, moving our feet, we're tight defensively. You know, we're hard to play against, and that kind of leads to, you know, us supporting each other, taking care of pucks, and then getting our forecheck going. So, you know, forecheck's a huge part of our game, cycle game. That's kind of how we score a lot of our goals. So, you know, I think just moving our feet and, you know, playing hard to game, playing you know, hard to play against is part of our game.
Back right, JP.
Question for Jaden and Braden. When Vladimir brings a physicality to his game as he has the last several games, what does that do to change the look and the effectiveness of your line?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for a guy who scores as many goals as he does to do all the little things. It goes a long way. You know, watching from the bench, watching other players sacrifice and work, it kind of builds momentum for everyone and gives you energy. And you know, when you're leading goal scorers, getting to the net, being physical, and bringing energy, it wears off on everyone else. And it's this time of the year, it's huge.
Three more questions. Back right.
I'm good.
This is a question for Vladimir. To set up your I'm sorry, your goal, Barbashev did a really good job to get you the puck on your breakaway. So could you just talk about his work on that play?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one possible play he can make, and you know, I know he's a smart player. He can make those plays and set up some guys, but you know, he did obviously a great job on that one. But I want to mention all guys from not the fourth line, but their line. They play amazing. They give us a lot of energy, give us good starts of the games and the periods, and you know, they play a really huge role in our team success, all of them.
Now we'll do three more questions. Right side, third row.
For Jaden, they had a problem at Enterprise Center today. They had 10,000 people, and they threw hats on the ice, and nobody to clean them up after your hat trick. How cool is it to hear that? And what do you think it will be like in 48 hours?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, obviously everyone's really excited this time of the year, and our fans are pumped, and that's pretty cool. They had a watch party tonight, but everyone knows we got a lot of work to do, and we're going to get their best game. They're going to have the most desperation they've had in this series, so we'll enjoy it tonight, but we know there's a lot of work yet.
Front right.
Jaden, is there any way you can put into words how far you guys have come? I mean, you guys were a team that was in so much turmoil in January, and you guys have been the best team in hockey ever since. And again, as you know, being that one game away from the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, had a lot of adversity at the start of the year. We had a lot of new faces and different line combinations, and we just went through a rough patch for sure. But I think we did a good job of learning from that, and I think that's fueled us a lot as we came down the stretch here. And when you can learn from losing, I think that goes a long way.
Last question, front right.
Braden, when you talked about effective forechecking and whatnot, I know you can't speak for how they feel physically and whatnot, but do you feel like your forecheck is being effective on them and it's wearing them down as this series is going on?
Yeah, I mean, 7-game series. I'm no D-man, but I'm sure it's not fun turning back, going back for pucks, and knowing guys are not only be physical, but just be hard to play against, hard in the battle, and obviously I know our D-men don't like it. Any D in the league don't like it, so it's just an element of our game that we bring, and obviously it's got to be a huge piece to Game 6.
Thanks, guys.